Come right along with us from Tok, Alaska, through the heart of the Alaska Highway to Delta Junction and onwards to Fairbanks. This video showcases real-time Alaska road conditions, scenic pullovers, and detailed views of the TransAlaskaPipeline Bridge just west of Delta Junction, a must-see engineering landmark spanning the Tanana River. Then it's on to Fairbanks, where we'll see the famed Antler Arch, Golden Harte Plaza, the Thompson Cultural Center, the Lease Monument, the Fountainhead Antique and Auto Museum, and finally Steamboat Landing for an exciting ride on the Binkley Riverboat Discovery.
Cruising down the highway, windows all rolled down, Florida sunshine, we're leaving this town with our cool Nata coach. It's a brand new start on the road to Alaska. Let's follow our heart from the orange groves to the mountains high. 49 states as the eagles fly by. We'll take the scenic route through valleys and streams, living out our wildest, most electric dream on the road to Alaska.
It's 8 a.m. as we break camp at the Tok RV Park and head west on the final leg of the Alaska Highway. It's a little over 100 miles to our next destination, Delta Junction. But first we'll stop off here in Tok to gather some groceries that we're going to need on the road. Sourdough Campground offers full hookups, pull-throughs, laundromats, showers, dump station, RV wash, free Wi-Fi, and the famous sourdough pancake toss. The sourdough pancakes stay semi-firm and fly somewhat like frisbees. Flinging pancakes has become a time-honored tradition at the campground following dinner. For the campers who want to try their hand at tossing pancakes, they're given 2 chances to toss a pancake into a bucket. Each winner receives a free breakfast the next morning. The coin-operated car wash is a must-stop. It's also the last car wash for several hundred miles. Now for my $2.50 RV wash alternative, we carry a bucket, wash brush, and car wash soap with us. The coin-operated car wash takes 5 quarters for about 5 minutes. I fill the bucket with water and add soap, and then spray down the loose dirt on the RV. Then scrub down the RV with a brush and soapy water from my bucket, and then rinse it off with a second batch of 5 quarters. $2.50, and I'm done. After leaving Three Bears, we stopped off at the Civic Association Visitor Center, located at the intersection of the Tok Cutoff and the Alaska Highway. The oversized Adirondack chair adorns their frontage, while dramatic illustrations of some of Alaska's wildlife can be seen inside. Maps and local information are available at the desk for travelers.
Shining 49 gone by. From the sandy beaches we'll paint the sky. Packed up the memories, smiles all around. Hitting the highway to the farthest ground. Florida won't fade in time for a change. 1,000 adventures, let's rearrange. Wheels are turning, hearts on fire. With every mile we climb a little higher. It's the golden anniversary, let's celebrate. With the wind in our hair, can't be late. From east to the west and the north we will roll. In the cool Nana coach we found our home.
We've made it, the entire Alaska Highway. As we continue our drive to the official end of the Alaska Highway, mile marker 1422 at Delta Junction, where we take on the battle against Alaska's state bird at the visitor center there. The official totem pole sign for the end of the Alaska Highway is quite similar to that found at the beginning of the highway in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, 1,422 miles south. Delta Junction, Alaska is one of the most historically significant and symbolically important communities in the state because it marks the official northern terminus of the Alaska Highway. For travelers arriving from Canada and the lower 48 by road, Delta Junction represents the moment where the legendary 1,400-plus mile highway finally meets Alaska's interior road system. The TransAlaskaPipeline crosses the Chena River near Delta Junction at one of the most visually striking and technically demanding points along its 800-mile route from Prudhoe Bay to the ice-free port of Valdez. Here, in the broad interior lowlands of central Alaska, engineers were forced to reconcile extreme cold, unstable permafrost, powerful seasonal flooding, and the logistical isolation of the 1970s Arctic frontier. The result was a crossing that came to symbolize both the ingenuity and the urgency behind the entire pipeline project.
The highway, the sun shining bright. Jane and Steve in the cool Nana coach taking flight from Florida's coast where the palm trees sway to Alaska's peaks. We're on our way, golden anniversary, 50 years strong. With each mile we travel, we're where we belong. Adventure awaits on this endless drive in our RV home. We feel so alive. From Florida to Alaska, hear the engines roar. Through the mountains and valleys we'll explore. East coast to west coast, we'll take our time. Jane and Steve forever on this epic climb. With memory shining like the stars above, celebrating our journey together in love.
Upon our arrival in Fairbanks, we set up base camp at the Chena Valley Campground, adjacent to the Chena Valley State Fairgrounds. Conveniently located about 10 minutes from downtown Fairbanks, the Chena Valley Campground and RV Park is an ideal location for visitors looking for a place to camp and take in the scenic beauty of Alaska. The RV park features a range of camping areas, including electric and non-electric sites. What's more, each campsite has a fire pit, picnic table, and free internet access via Wi-Fi. Showers are included in the price, and there are also coin-operated laundry facilities there. Each of the camping areas are surrounded by multitudes of gorgeous trees, providing visitors with the privacy they need, but forget about getting any Starlink or Dish TV signals. In downtown Fairbanks is the Antler Arch Gateway. Located at just a short walk from the Morris Thompson Visitors and Cultural Center on the Chena River, the arch is made up of more than 100 moose and caribou antlers that were collected from all over interior Alaska. It's an impressive structure that is very Alaskana. 10 sets of antlers came from the village of Hoslia. 15 sets of antlers were collected from Fort Yukon. Additional antlers are from Fairbanks, North Pole, Dot Lake, the Minto Flats, Tok, Koyuktuk, Delta, Northway, and the Tanana Flats. One of the largest sets came from Sean Gover, a young boy from Nikolai who got the moose antlers on his first hunt. Local artist and cabin builder Sandy Jameson oversaw the installation of the antlers. The arch was completed in 2010. Completed in 1986, Golden Harte Plaza is located where the center of gold rush activity occurred. The decorative concrete plaza features a ramp that leads directly down to the river, the literal and figurative heart of Fairbanks. The plaza boasts more than 70 bronze plaques that act as a permanent register of names of interior Alaska families, organizations, and institutions, along with historical vignettes. The plaza's central feature is a fountain statue, Unknown First Family, by Malcolm Alexander. Standing 18 feet high with water cascading over it into a surrounding pool, the statue has been dedicated to all the Alaska families of the past, present, and future. Fairbanksians and tourists alike have congregated at Golden Harte Plaza to celebrate holiday, festivals, and other quirky Alaskan events. From the 25th anniversary of statehood celebration to the Tired Iron Antique Snowmobile Race, the plaza is a focal point in the life of the community. The plaza embraces Alaska's seasonal patterns by programming events suited to climatic extremes. In the summer, Golden Harte Plaza comes alive with flowers and an open-air concert series, while a seasonal boat dock provides access to the river. In the winter, the plaza is strung with twinkling white lights and offers a perfect vantage point for watching events like the Yukon Quest International Sled Dog Race or winter fireworks on the frozen Chena River. In the early days of World War II, Allied nations found themselves short on materials and supplies that were needed to keep fighting. This need resulted in the creation of the Lend-Lease policy, which saw the United States end their neutrality to support Allied efforts. To help the Soviet Union on the Eastern Front, nearly 8,000 aircraft and numerous other supplies went up from the lower 48 and eventually into the war. The Lend-Lease Monument commemorates the flights of these American planes from the continental United States along the Alaska-Siberia Airway, and is illustrated as one of the bronze panels that's located on the monument. The large number of aircraft handed over to the Soviets at Fairbanks were then flown across the Bering Sea and into Siberia, before eventually joining war efforts on multiple Russian battlefronts. Much of the Alaska-Siberia Airway route lay over remote and roadless wilderness, which forced pilots to make their way in stages from the safety of one quickly built fort to the next. We walked on over to the Morris Thompson Cultural and Visitor Center. It's a place for gathering, discovery, education, and celebration, made possible by a cross-organizational, multicultural partnership built on the values lived by the late Morris Thompson. Morris Thompson was a Cayucan Athabascan born in 1939 in the nearby village of Tanana. The son of Warren Thompson from Indiana and Alice Thompson from Tanana, as a child, he loves reading and studying. He would sometimes tell people he couldn't go outside to play because he was too busy reading and preparing to be a big man someday. That's how he earned the nickname Big, and it stuck. As one of the premier vintage car museums in the world, the Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum tells the story of our automotive evolution from the late 1800s through to pre-World War II. They also bring Alaska's rich and colorful auto and transportation history to life in vivid detail, with over 100 historic motoring photographs decorating the Auto Museum's walls, illustrating the North's unique transportation challenges, including the navigation of glacial streams, avalanche chutes, and extremely deep snow. The museum's exhibits include rare and well-preserved cars, providing us with a glimpse into the history of the automotive industry. It typically showcases cars from the early 20th century, featuring a range of makes and models that highlight the evolution of automotive design and technology. Today we take a ride to the famed Steamboat Landing. The Binkley family's steamboat tradition goes back over 100 years and 5 generations. In 1898, when Charles Binkley hiked over the Chilkoot Pass with other stampeders, he was not so much in search of gold as he was the chance to build and operate boats on the Yukon and its tributaries. We boarded the Discovery 3 sternwheeler and proceeded south for a 3-hour cruise on the Chena River. We really had a gorgeous day. A tad cool, but beautiful, clear, sun-filled skies. And most of all, it was not raining. Rain has been a nearly daily occurrence for us since leaving Florida some 68 days ago. As the boat heads south, we pause to see a bush plane demonstration. Able to land and take off from a very short distance, these bush planes were the lifeline for transportation to the remote wilderness areas, as they were fitted with pontoons that enabled them to use the rivers as their runways. The Discovery 3 has an excellent public address system. We were able to hear the presentation nice and clear, and to our surprise, the system is integrated into the bush plane pilot's radio for an informative live interview between the captain of the Discovery and the bush plane pilot.
Easy too. I like to point out these big squishy Tundra tires they use. Only inflated about 8 or 9 pounds of pressure. Real good for getting over uneven terrain, rocks, logs, neighbor's garbage, whatever might be in your way. But you won't find a runway everywhere you go in our state. What you will find, however, is a lot of water. Because Minnesota, hey, I love your license plate, but we have over 3 million lakes in Alaska. Well, these other boats are cleared out of the way, and they're going to go ahead and turn around here. And it's a good time for me to remind you folks that you don't have to stay glued to that seat you're in. You're welcome to move around the boat, but keep in mind that if you're standing by a railing or window, you might block someone else's view, so try to keep each other honest on that. And you'll get a really good view of that plane as they come towards us here. Once 88 Zulu kind of feels like they've got enough clearance, they'll turn themselves around, fire up that 160 horsepower Lycoming engine. Alright, it looks like 88 Zulu's got enough runway. So I know it kind of looks like he's heading towards us, but don't worry, you don't have to duck if you're sitting towards the front. Because as you can see from that wake, he barely needs a couple 100 feet of river in order to take off. So it's important to kind of lean over and make sure you've got a good visual idea of where it is you're going to land. You get to line up with it quickly, but while they're descending, they actually reduce their forward airspeed. And then, as soon as you get over these trees, you can kind of just drop down and over the river, because you don't always have the space to make a nice gradual descent. And because they're going so slow, they're just kind of coasting at this point, and hang it out to dry right here over the river. Can't actually see the water, just going off years of instinct and feel. And sure, you bounce a little bit on the landing, but this is Alaska. Anything you can walk away from is a 10. And we have a lot of very talented pilots up here, folks. 1 in 78 Alaskans is actually licensed to fly. It's more per capita than anywhere else on the planet. And I'd like for you to get a chance to meet our pilot over here. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off the microphone so you can listen into the radio chatter with them and Captain Matty.
Discovery 3 calling 88 Zulu. Chris, thanks so much for coming down today. It's a gorgeous day we have. How's the air up there?
Oh, it's just gorgeous today. Just too much fun with the beautiful blue skies. We've been missing this, sort of.
Yes, I think this is probably the best July day we've had so far. Would you mind telling our folks a little bit about how you got into aviation and flying?
Sure, yeah. I started flying about 30 years ago back in Iowa when I was in college, and let me tell you, the flying in Iowa with square mile roads in every direction is much different than flying here in Alaska. Been flying here in Alaska for about 10 years now.
After the bush plane demonstration, we proceeded further south and pause briefly near the late three-time Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race winner Susan Butcher's Kennels and Dog Sled Training Facility. Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race is a grueling 1,112-mile race through Arctic blizzard conditions across the Alaska wilderness.
I'll tell you what, the dogs seem like they're really on fire this afternoon. I just kind of hope the brakes hold on that four-wheeler. All right. And after skidding to a stop, another fantastic run this afternoon from Tekla.
Well, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. And after every training run, we like to go up and down the line and give every dog a pat on the head to let them know we appreciate their hard work.
Well, of course, and then everyone wants to play around for a little bit. And I guess on a day like today, come to the pool to cool off.
To give visitors a taste of what life in the wilderness of Alaska was, the Brinkleys developed this authentic Alaskan village with the assistance and expertise of famed Alaskan trapper and woodsman Bob Harte. Bob was born in 1951 in New Jersey and in the early 1970s headed north to Alaska to experience the rugged lifestyle he had read about and dreamed about for many years. He built a cabin in the extreme wilderness of the Brooks Range and established a trap line there over 150 miles north of the Arctic Circle. He lived in the extreme backcountry for over 40 years and in the off-season would travel to Fairbanks for summer work. He started working for the Binkley family in the early 1980s, and with his woodworking and cabin building skills, he helped develop the Chena Village. Like the cabin on his trapline, he built many of the structures in the village, completely from materials found on site. Harte was featured in a documentary, The Last Alaskans, where he shared his incredible, unique, and challenging lifestyle. Just like the cabins he built, Bob's memory will live on in Chena Village for decades to come. The village features native Alaskans who demonstrate catching and processing salmon, a traditional fish wheel, live moose, elk, and reindeer, trapping and how to use the furs to make traditional clothing and footwear, as well as an authentic wilderness trading post and wilderness cabins. Visitors also got a chance to see the famed Butcher sled dogs up close and personal. Afterwards, we boarded Discovery 3 and continued back north to where our journey began 3 hours earlier at Steamboat Landing. We leave the Cool Nana at Walmart and take Equinox and turn east on the Johansson Expressway for about 3/4 of a mile, and then turn north on the Steese Expressway. We make a quick stop 8.5 miles outside of Fairbanks at the TAPS, that is the TransAlaskaPipeline System viewpoint. We get to walk along a portion of the pipeline up close and personal, and we get to see a pig. That's a device used to collect data and clean the inside of the pipeline. Excellent interpretive signage provides accurate understanding of the operation of and the challenges faced in the building of the pipeline, while protecting the environment, especially the tundra, in this massive undertaking.
If you like our videos, please hit that bell icon so you'll be informed when our next video is published.